In this class, we discuss the boundary conditions and reflection and transmission of classical wave in a boundary. Boundary conditions. Boundary conditions and reflection and transmission. Reflection and transmission of classical wave. Boundary conditions and reflection and transmission of classical wave. Consider a string which is tied to another string. Two strings are tied together. One string which is tied to another string. This is having a linear density. The second string is having a linear density mu2, and the first string is having a linear density mu1. So this is string 1 and this is string 2. First string is having a linear density mu1 and second string is having linear density mu2. Here a knot is there. The two strings are tied at this point. This direction, I am taking this as Z direction. This direction, I am taking it as Z direction. And this knot is at this point I am taking this as Z equal to 0. Here Z greater than 0. On the left side Z less than 0. Here a knot is there at Z equal to 0. On the left hand side of that knot, we are having a medium of a string of linear density mu1. Mu means its velocity in that medium will be v1. And in the second medium, the velocity will be v2. We know the expression for velocity. Velocity is v equal to root of t by mu. T is same for both the strings, but mu is different for these two strings. First string is having linear density mu1, so its velocity is v1. Second string is having linear density mu2, so its velocity in that string will be v2. So the wave is traveling through the first string with a velocity v1, and it is traveling through the second string with a velocity v2. So these velocities will be different. So the wavelength of wave in these two strings will be different, but the frequency will be same for both the strings. So lambda 1 by lambda 2. Lambda 1 by lambda 2. Lambda is 2 pi by k. Lambda is nothing but 2 pi by k. So lambda 1 by lambda 2 that will be k2 by k1. Now velocity v equal to omega by k. Omega is same for both the strings. So k is inversely proportional to velocity. So it will be equal to v1 by v2. So lambda 1 by lambda 2 is equal to k2 by k1 is equal to v1 by v2. Now consider a wave incident on the node from the first medium. So I am taking a wave so this is Z direction, and displacement I am taking along the Y direction. So this is F, and a wave is incident. A wave is incident on this node through the first medium. Here it is medium 1 and here it is medium 2. So this is incident wave. Incident wave. Now from this node it will be reflected, some part of wave will be reflected and some part will be transmitted. So the reflected wave, you can draw the reflected wave as, so this is reflected wave and one part is transmitted and the transmitted wave. So this one is transmitted wave. Figure 2, here it is reflected wave and here it is transmitted wave. So this is incident wave, I am representing this by the suffix I. Reflected wave, I am representing this by the suffix R. And transmitted wave, I am representing that by the suffix T. Now, write the expression for incident, reflected and transmitted wave. The incident wave can be written as, the expression for incident wave is F of, for incident wave I am giving the suffix I. A complex notation I am using. So F complex I is T is equal to, the incident wave can be written as the amplitude of incident wave. I am representing AI, which is complex, e raised to I. For incident wave, I am taking wave vector as k1. So it is I k1 z minus omega t. This is for z less than 0. From minus infinity to 0, the incident wave is traveling. And for reflected wave, the reflected wave, in a similar way, we can write the reflected wave can be written as Fr Zt is equal to Ar e raised to I. The wave vector of reflected wave is, if k1 is incident wave, then the wave vector of reflected wave we can write it as minus k1. So this is minus k1 is at minus omega t. Plus k1, same medium, so its magnitude will be same. Incident wave and reflected wave, they are traveling in opposite direction. So this will be minus k1. So the reflected wave we can write it as Ar e raised to I minus k1 z minus omega t. That is also for z less than 0. Reflected wave is traveling from 0 to minus infinity. So this is traveling from 0 to minus infinity. So we can represent the transmitted wave as, in a similar way we can write the transmitted wave as F. The transmitted wave can be written as, transmitted wave can be written as Ft Zt is equal to A transmitted e raised to I. For the transmitted wave, it is transmitting through the second medium. So its velocity is v2 and the second medium, the wave vector is k2. So we can write I k2 z minus omega t. This is for z. This is for z greater than 0. So this equation I am taking equation 3. So in first medium, the combined wave, the first medium is having incident wave and transmitted wave. The second medium is having only sorry, the first medium is having incident wave and reflected wave. The second medium is having only transmitted wave. So we can combine these three equations and we can write these equations as Fzt is equal to the first medium. First medium means for z less than 0. For z less than 0, we can write a combination of incident wave and reflected wave, since both the waves are traveling through the first medium. So we can write it as ai e raised to I k1z minus omega t plus ar e raised to I minus k1z minus omega t. So this is for z less than 0 and for z greater than 0. For z greater than 0, we can write it as at e raised to I k2z minus omega t. So this is equation number 4. So this represents the wave for z less than 0 and z greater than 0. Now we apply the boundary condition. What are the boundary conditions? Boundary conditions. One boundary condition is that at z equal to 0, the two strings joined at z is equal to 0. There is no relative displacement. So we can write a slight left of z equal to 0. We will write it as z equal to 0 minus. Z equal to 0 minus means it is infinitesimal distance from z is equal to 0 towards left. Like that, infinitesimal displacement towards right. Infinitesimal, a point which is having infinitesimal displacement towards right, that we will take it as z equal to 0 plus. So the wave function or the wave equation at z equal to 0 minus will be same as z is equal to 0 plus, or the displacement at z is equal to 0 minus will be same as the displacement at z is equal to 0 plus. Otherwise the string will break. Since there is no break in the string at the node, the displacement at z equal to 0 minus will be same as z is equal to 0 plus. Z is equal to 0 minus means if this is the node and this is first medium and this is second medium, an infinitesimal distance from this point towards left. So this is 0 minus and this point is 0 plus. So the displacement at this point will be same as the displacement at this point. Otherwise, there will be a break at the node. If there is no break at the node, then the displacement at these 2 points will be same. So we can write mathematically as f z is 0 minus t is equal to f z t at z equal to 0 minus. Actually, the condition is f z t at z equal to 0 minus will be same as f z t at z equal to 0 plus. Z equal to 0 minus. So we can write f 0 minus t is equal to f of 0 plus t. So this is first boundary condition, equation number 5. The second boundary condition is that if the node itself is having zero mass, if it is a massless node, if the node itself is of negligible mass, then the derivative of f must also be continuous. The derivative of f must also be continuous. Derivative of f means derivative of displacement. displacement if it is not continuous. If it is continuous, then we will be having a diagram like this. This is at z equal to 0. This is z equal to 0. This is z greater than 0. This one is z less than 0. If the string is displacing like this, so at 0 minus the slope is same as at the slope at 0 plus. So if the force at the knot is 0, if mass is 0, if mass of knot is 0, then naturally the force at the knot will be 0. If force at knot is 0, then slope at z equal to 0 minus will be equal to slope at z equal to 0 plus. Then it is continuous. So if the slope is continuous, for the continuous slope, the slope at z equal to 0 minus should be same as the slope at z equal to 0. Otherwise, there will be a force at the knot. We are assuming that the mass of knot is negligible. So if mass is 0, then the force should be 0. Force is 0 means it should be continuous. For continuous slope, it should be like that. If it is discontinuous, then we can draw it as for discontinuous slope. This is z equal to 0. Here slope will be like this, and here slope will be something else. Slope will be something like this. That means this slope and this slope are different. If these two slopes are different, then there must be a force. We are assuming that there is no force, so the slope should be continuous and it should be like this. That means the derivative of f with respect to z for continuous slope, for this continuous slope, the derivative of displacement f, y direction we are taking f, this is f, and x direction we are taking z. This is not force, this f is displacement along y direction, that is given by this f. Here also we are giving f, and this one is z. So dou f by dou z at z equal to 0 minus should be same as dou f by dou z at z equal to 0 plus. So one boundary condition is given by equation 5, and the second boundary condition f, the function f should be continuous, and the second boundary condition is its derivative with respect to z should be continuous at the boundary, or dou f by dou z at z equal to 0 minus is same as dou f by dou z at z equal to 0 plus. So this is equation number 6. This one is equation number 6. Now we apply boundary condition for our classical wave and the incident wave, reflected wave, all these we know. And on left hand side, z less than 0, this is the wave, and z greater than 0, this one is the wave. Now apply the first boundary condition. Equation 5 on equation 4. Applying the boundary condition 5, applying the boundary condition 5 on wave equation 4. Apply this 5 boundary condition in equation 4. So z equal to 0. At z equal to 0, then this one should be same as this one. So equate these two terms. This z less than 0, the wave function at z less than 0, equate this with the wave function at z greater than 0 by substituting z equal to 0. At the boundary, these two should be equal. That means this term becomes z is 0, so this will be I into minus omega t, ai e raised to minus I omega t. This one will be ar e raised to minus, this term is 0, so e raised to I into minus omega t, it is e raised to minus I omega t. That will be equal to at e raised to I into this term is 0, here it is minus omega t. So applying boundary condition 5 on equation 4, we get A incident e raised to minus I omega t plus A reflected e raised to minus I omega t equal to A transmitted e raised to minus I omega t. E raised to minus I omega t will get cancelled. So we will be having AI plus, all these are complex amplitudes, AR is equal to AT. So this I am taking as equation number 7. Equation number 7. Now apply the second boundary condition. Apply the second boundary condition on this equation 4, applying the boundary condition 6. Is it 6? Okay, 6 on wave equation 4, we get the derivative at z is equal to 0 minus should be same as the derivative of f of z, f with respect to z, that is 0 plus. So derivative with respect to z, that is derivative of this one with respect to z, ai e raised to I k1z minus omega t into differential of this one is e raised to I k1z minus omega t into I k1. So differential of this one will be the same term multiplied by minus I k1. So here we will be having a multiplier I k1. Here we will be, when we take differential with respect to z, we will be having minus I k1. Now this one at e raised to I k2 z minus omega t into I k2, and equate these two terms, these two differentials at z equal to 0. At z equal to 0, this term becomes 0. So we will be having I k1 ai e raised to, this is 0, minus I omega t. Here we are having minus I k1 ar e raised to, this term is 0. So minus I omega t, which is equal to the differential of this one I k2 at e raised to, this is 0, so minus I omega t. So we are having the differentials at z equal to 0. First one I k1 a incident e raised to minus I omega t plus minus I k1 a reflected e raised to minus I omega t is equal to I k2 a transmitted e raised to minus I omega t. E raised to minus I omega t will get cancelled. So we will be having I k, we can take I k1 common from these two terms. I k1 into ai minus ar is equal to I k2 at. This I will get cancelled. Then k1 taking to right hand side, we will be having ai minus ar is equal to k2 by k1 at. This one we are taking it as equation number 8. Now solving equations 7 and 8, we can find the values of reflected, the amplitude of reflected wave and transmitted wave in terms of the amplitude of incident wave. So for solving that, first I take equation 7 plus equation 8. Equation 7 plus 8. This is AI plus AR. This is AI minus AR. So we will be having 2AI. 2AI equal to, on the right hand side we are having AT plus K2 by K1 AT. So we have 1 plus K2 by K1 into AT. So this is 2 AI is equal to K1 plus K2 by K1 into AT, or the amplitude of transmitted wave AT equal to 2 K1 by K1 plus K2. 2 K1 by K1 plus K2 into A incident. So this is equation number 9. Or we can write K1, we can write it as K1 is V equal to omega by K. So omega is same for two media. That means we can replace this K by V. So this will be omega by V1, and this one will be omega by V1. This one will be omega by V2. On simplifying this, we will be having the relation in terms of velocity as AT equal to 2 V2 by V2 plus V1, that is same as V1 plus V2. So we will be having 2 V2 by V1 plus V2, 2 V2 by V1 plus V2 into A transmitted. So this is the amplitude of transmitted wave in terms of the amplitude of incident wave. This is AI, amplitude of incident wave. Now we find the amplitude of reflected wave in terms of the amplitude of incident wave. For finding the reflected wave, take the difference of equations 7 and 8. Taking the difference AA minus AA, this will cancel. AR minus AR, 2AR equal to AT minus K2 by K1 AT. That will be 1 minus K2 by K1 AT. So we will be having equation 7 minus 8. Equation 7 minus 8 gives 2AR is equal to 1 minus K2 by K1. 1 minus K2 by K1 into A transmitted. So this will be AR equal to K1 minus K2 by 2K1 into air transmitted. What is air transmitted? Air transmitted is 2K1 by K1 plus K2 into AI. So in terms of incident wave vector, we can write it as A reflected equal to K1 minus K2 by 2K1 into, here it is 2, what is AT? AT is 2K1 by K1 plus K2. 2K1 by K1 plus K2 into A incident. So this 2K1 will get cancelled. We will be having the relation for amplitude of reflected wave as K1 minus K2 by K1 plus K2 into A incident. So this one equation number 10. Or in terms of velocity V1 and V2, we can write this equation as AR equal to A reflected equal to V2 minus V1 by V2 plus V1 into AI. So So this is the expression for reflected wave in terms of incident wave. So these are the complex amplitudes. The real amplitudes, we can write the real amplitude as, for writing real amplitude, what is real amplitude? Complex amplitude A equal to real amplitude into e raised to I delta. Delta is initial phase. So for incident wave, we can write it as AI, where AI is real amplitude into e raised to I delta I, and the A transmitted is AT e raised to I delta T, and the A reflected is AR e raised to I delta R. If delta R, if all three waves have same phase angle, if all three waves have same phase angle, then delta I equal to delta R equal to delta T. Then if all these are same, substitute in this equation, real amplitude, equation 9 becomes A transmitted complex. Instead of that, we can write AT real into e raised to I delta T is equal to, equation is 2 V2 by V2 plus V1, 2 V2 by V2 plus V1 into A incident. A incident is AI e raised to I delta I. If this delta I and delta T are same, then we can cancel these two terms. So we will be having real amplitude as AT equal to 2 V2 by V2 plus V1 into AI. This I am taking equation number. So this equation we can take it as equation number 11. Equation 11. In a similar way, we can write equation 10 as AR. AR, we can write it as AR e raised to I delta R is equal to V2 minus V1, V2 minus V1 by V2 plus V1 AT, AI e raised to I delta I, e raised to I delta I and e raised to I delta R are same. Then we can write the real amplitude of reflected wave as V2 minus V1 into V2 minus V1 by V2 plus V1 into AI, equation number 12. So equations 11 and 12 represents the amplitude of reflected and transmitted wave in terms of the amplitudes of the amplitude of incident wave. Now, if the second wave, if I consider the second wave as a heavier medium, second medium as a heavier medium, if mu2 greater than mu1, so second is heavier and first one is lighter. So the wave is traveling from, that means the wave is traveling from lighter medium to heavier medium. If it is traveling from lighter medium to heavier medium, mu2 greater than mu1 means V2, V is T by mu. So V2 less than V1. If V2 less than V1, transmitted wave, there is no change in phase. But in the case of reflected wave, if V2 less than V1, this term becomes negative. That means the reflected wave and incident wave are out of phase. That means the reflected wave and transmitted wave are having a phase difference of 180 degree. That means the reflected wave is 180 degree out of phase with the transmitted wave. Sorry, the reflected wave is 180 degree out of phase with the incident wave, or we can write the phase of reflected wave plus pi is equal to the phase of incident wave. So these two phases are differing by pi, since we are getting a negative sign here. Here V2 minus V1, so this will be negative. So minus of V1 minus V2 by V1 plus V2 into AI. So these two amplitudes are out of phase. That means when a wave is traveling from lighter medium to heavier medium, there will be a phase change of 180 degree for the reflected wave with respect to incident wave. Now what about the transmitted wave? The phase of transmitted wave, there is no change in phase of transmitted wave with respect to incident wave. That means the phase of transmitted wave will be same as the phase of incident wave. So the incident wave and transmitted wave are in phase. The incident wave and reflected wave are out of phase if the second medium is heavier than first medium. If the first medium is heavier and second medium is lighter, then what will happen? If mu1 greater than mu2, that means this is heavier and this one is lighter. The wave is traveling from heavier medium to lighter medium. Is traveling from heavier medium to lighter medium. mu1 greater than mu2 means v1 less than v2. Velocity in first medium is less compared to velocity in second medium. So v2 minus v1 is positive. If v2 minus v1 is positive, A are equal to AI. The phase of reflected wave is same as the phase of incident wave, and the phase of transmitted wave is same as the phase of incident wave. That means the phase of reflected wave is same as the phase of incident wave. The phase of transmitted wave is same as the phase of incident wave. That means the reflected wave is in phase with the incident wave. So this we have obtained for classical wave, and the same thing you can obtain for electromagnetic wave. When an electromagnetic wave is traveling from a rarer medium to denser medium, the reflected wave will be having a phase difference of 180 degree with respect to incident wave. And when the electromagnetic wave is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, then there is no change in phase of reflected wave. So the same thing is happening for electromagnetic wave that we will be discussing in the next class. So now consider one more case. The second medium is much heavier than the first medium. Compared to first medium, the mass linear density of second medium is very high, or the second is infinitely massive. If the second string is infinitely massive. If the second string is infinitely massive, then mu2 much greater than mu1, or v2 very less than v1. V2 we can take it is tends to 0 with respect to v1. V2 is negligibly small. If V2 is 0, then take the case with the reflected wave AR equal to transmitted wave AT equal to 2 V2 by V2 by V1. So if V2 is 0, then this one will be 0, 2 V2 by V1, V2 is 0, so transmitted wave is 0. The amplitude of transmitted wave, amplitude of transmitted wave, the amplitude of transmitted wave AT equal to 0. So no wave will be transmitted. If the second medium is infinitely heavy, then no wave will be transmitted to the second medium, and the amplitude of reflected wave can be written as amplitude of reflected wave. What about the amplitude of reflected wave? Amplitude of reflected wave, when you consider this reflected wave, V2 is 0. V2 0 means this term is 0, this one is 0. So minus V1 by V1. V1 will cancel. So it is minus of AI. So AR equal to minus AI. AR equal to minus AI. That means the complete wave is reflected back. It is completely reflected back. So if the second medium is much heavy or infinitely massive, then the complete wave will be reflected back and there is no transmitted wave. So this is the case with the reflection and transmission at boundary. In the case of a mechanical wave produced in a string. Okay, thank you.